The 1 damage Impale cancels one of its good casual and competitive moves, the ability to punish people from retreating mid-battle. Edit. The 8 damage Impale also makes LB good at picking off squishy heroes, wall splat, and then whatever you do, it's especially good in Breach as defender. I'm going to assume they're talking about LB's Impale being bad now or something, but I'm pretty sure it's still fine. I wish Taindi had an unblockable heavy after his palm strike and kick. I don't know what adding an unblockable heavy would do after either of those, man. Like, what? This comment isn't exactly wrong, but it's just so fucking funny to me. I would like to elaborate a little bit on the first tip. Every time you're in a Dom or Breach match, the question you need to ask yourself at all times is, which activity can I do that my team will benefit the most? Think of yourself and your teammates as human resources. The team who can move more optimally distribute their resources wins. Ganking with more than 2 people is not optimal. Landing damage in a gank without a proper setup is very difficult. You're wasting resources by ganking with more than 2 people. You can do something as that will contribute more to your team. You also don't want to rotate to a team fight on one point, while the other point and mid is unguarded. In general, farming mid nets the most points, so unless you would be outnumbered in mid or your char is really bad at cleaning mid, you want to farm mid. Talking about being outnumbered, the longer you can stall out multiple opponent players, the more points you deny from the enemy team, so anti-gank if you can. Don't, if you will get deleted in 10 I just really like the idea of looking at your teammates like an expendable resource. It's great. Not gonna lie, I have not once said to myself, whoa, that's OP against a Lawbringer. The flaws were clear. You just got parried and you get punished. The only thing that's shit about Lawbringer now is he's just as boring as Warden. He's unplayable. And the shove countered light spam. Light parries are impossible on console. And the CCU just made the game more light spam. I can't tell if he's saying that Lawbringer is like bad or not. Like, what? I don't understand what the point is. Game died when they did the core combat update. Until I hear it's been reverted back, then I won't be reinstalling. Bye. The whole point of mix-ups is to open up the defense of your enemy. That is what mix-ups is for in fighting games. I can agree that being able to react and punish at light, or all attacks being reactable, is kind of stupid, but it shouldn't be a 33-33-33 mix-up without any setup for that mix-up. But what the CCU have done is, instead of mix-ups being used to open up your enemy, you use mix-ups to keep the offensive going. But the fact that starting the offensive is basically a free mix-up with line attacks is what bothers me. Depending on the hero you use, of course, Shinobi can't really use lights to continue or start his offense, because he ends his advantage right there. What the fuck is a free mix-up? And how do you mix someone up if they can react? What's your point? Also, light attacks are still reactable from neutral. Oh, this is a good one. I always love the console ones. Let me explain the console experience at this time, at least at my skill level. 1. Who can use offense first? 2. Use the longest combo possible. I fucking hate the use of combo by these people. Because no matter what you throw, no one is going to react to anything. Absolutely no one, dude. No one will ever react, trust me. At this point, you're low on stamina, so you have to hope that you can start to defend. Just block. It's impossible to defend most attacks, because they know you won't be able to react either. You're both low now, so it's agreed upon that we both wait at max range throwing small slaps, or hopefully you're the one that finally hits the slap. 6. Nobody wins. Yes, that's definitely how it works on console. As a person who started playing this game on PS4 with a wired connection and a good monitor, I'm gonna say it's probably not changed that much. If things were unreactable before, you're not gonna be reacting to them now. and I doubt the vast majority of console players could react before, considering they were always complaining about it. So, unfortunate. Whew boy, Barack Obama profile picture, man, has a pretty good one. How do you read someone who switches guard randomly and throws a light? You can't! Their game encourages this now. I was fighting a Kenzie, who I was way better than, 2-0, and the round starts, and he just has carpal tunnel in his wrists, and randomly presses light attack. There is nothing I can do. I lost that game because of a flaw in game design. Without telling or giving the community the ability to check if this is what we want, it comes out in this state. They tested it for quite a long time, I would say. Most people wanted what came. Highlander is a better assassin than PK, who need I remind you has been easily the worst character in the game since December 2017. She got a buff where she now did a bar of damage with a heavy. I know, groundbreaking. In January 2018, but that is now gone. Her zone was 400 MS from one side and has been nerfed to 500 MS, and her bleed on guard break has been nerfed. It still does 38. Ubi is so scared of making her good as day one, because she was broken, but forgets that the reason she was good was because no one knew how to defend themselves. Best damage in the game, best recoveries, reflex guard was actually stronger than static guard at the time, best option select in the game, really good gank synergy. I don't even think I need to read the rest of this. Just pause and read it, this one's insane. Some notes. Lawbringer no longer has any hyper armor, except for the hyper armor that he gets on Make Way, but what of it. The character we've all wanted to have hyper armor for years now has none. He doesn't need it. He can no longer trade into a mix-up. That was the main point. I think you took the one damage meme on Reddit too much to heart. It's a joke. Very few people are actually upset by it. Except every other post was someone talking about how Impale is now worthless and blah blah blah. I don't know about that one. The word read is thrown around a lot when considering defense. Your argument seems to be confusing reading an opponent with guessing. Reading an opponent would be predicting their moves based on their previous behavior. You can't read an opponent you've just met. I mean, you can read them based on the character that they play, because every character is going to have a specific option that they favor, so that you can infer what they'll be doing based on that. But what do I know? To say that you read that an opponent you're fighting in a first encounter would throw out their unblockable attack rather than initiate a mix-up is incorrect. It's not, but whatever. You guessed that they would, and you guessed correctly if you parried their attack. There was no precedent for you to read what they would do, except for what the character is good at. Hence why the game has become a guessing game. One bonus with the CCU is that with lower damage values we can get a larger time window to understand our opponent before we die. However, this is also countered by offensively focused gameplay. Offensively focused gameplay just means there's more flow going around, of which For Honor still lacks in, but you know. For Honor does need improving, and I absolutely agree with the idea that you can't read someone who you just met, but you can read based on what they're playing and what you know about the character. It's not like you just spontaneously forget what a character does between people. It's really hard to read randoms, but you can do it. It's just hard when people don't really know or play optimally, for that matter. I'm not reading all of this, but you get the point. This is just, again, someone who seems to think that reads aren't real, they're just guesses. And it's kind of insane. Worst bash out of all the knights, slow lights. His lights are like 500 or 400 MS, they're not that slow. No light chains. He has chain lights, I guess, but yeah, he doesn't have a light chain. I think he should, but, you know, he doesn't currently. Very slow bash that gives a 24 damage side heavy. Yeah, 24 damage. Basically what pretty much everyone else in the game gets, roughly. Parry unblockable does garbage damage. Don't know about that. It did before, but now it does quite a bit again. It's still higher than Impale on Warsplat. Very slow top heavies. Punishes aren't even top tier anymore, even though that's the only part of his kit being good. They're still generally better than just about everybody else. Sure, he isn't unplayable, but his offensive options are non-existent and he is one of the worst heroes now. Before heavies got nerfed, he was still kind of fine, but now it's over. Whatever. If you've ever wanted Blackbriar players to deny the effectiveness of Oathbreaker, here's your thread for you. Oathbreaker, the single most hate mail inducing and death threat inducing feat. I love it. Honestly though, it's kinda shit, it's not even good. The best use of it is 2 easier team fights, but I myself held team fights despite being Oathbroken in a 1 versus 3, unless there is a smoke bomb Oathbreaker that's fucking cheap though. And as said in the other comment of mine, Oathbreaker isn't broken, it's actually shit lol, and as our BP main can say, it's so rarely used outside of 1 versus 4 gank last guy alive while team is breaking lol. Tiandi's heal feat is just too insane. I've heard people say BP's is insane too, but with the Tiandi you just gotta hit people, which after core combat isn't hard. And the Blackbriar can attack, yes, but unless you predict a guard break you're gonna get parried and get no heal, and while attacking with shield unblockable SO while bulwark you won't get healed, so it could be like that, but it's nothing combated to Tiandi's heals. Like, it has no uses outside of ganking someone in a disadvantaged teamfight. Like, be real here, unless it's deathmatch and someone gets shield, but even then you gotta get 3 kills to just use it, and in a deathmatch 3 kills, and most of the time a game win if your teammates are good, so yeah. Jesus Christ, man. Learn some fucking punctuation. But anyway, like, Oathbreaker is a very good feat, and to deny that BP has good feats is clown material. This one is a true roller coaster and deserves an award. I respect your opinion, but chain light is everywhere now. In the last 5 days that I played, there's not been a single match where someone actually used a combo or fakes. Orochi spam light and dogged light. Highlander spam is cancer. Shinobi is think he is a fucking snowboard. Because he is shit, but still, Lawbringer is still strong, but man, you can't react to a single fucking light spam. You either guess or you die, and it's good, but you should be able to not rely on luck or guessing as long as in option select fight. And by the way, if, for you skill, it's just luck here, and there it's bullshit. You are not skilled if in a stupid ass light spam you guess randomly. It's just luck, and should only be luck. Fuck does it mean, man? What the fuck is the fucking snowboard comment? I just got back to the game. Why is the heavy damage on the heroes are so low? The fuck? Me too, man. I don't have a problem with having to read my opponent. It's often fun to figure out their patterns, and even more fun to switch up mine when I feel they've gotten used to them. The problem is one thing. I play on console. Yes, it's still possible to have a good fight with people where you read what they're gonna do next and feel like a smart badass, but more often than not, it's just a battle of who can spam first, and usually, whoever spams wins. And believe me, going into a fight where you keep getting spammed by lights you can't even see coming half the time is beyond frustrating. Who spams wins, boys. Let's go. Look freeze. People on PC are still parrying lights on reaction. Most lights! Sure, it's harder, but see, console just crosses the line. Lights are blatantly stupid and impossible to react to, so it all just closes the gap between skilled players and bad players. That's kind of what it was trying to do, because higher level play has been dictated by your genetic lottery winnings for the, like, vast majority of the game's lifespan, but, you know. Even pre-CCU lights were very possible to parry, because they were reactable. I've never believed in this born reaction time shit, because a couple of years ago playing on console I couldn't react to lights for shit. Then I slowly kept playing, and now just before the CCU came out I was able to parry and deflect lights on reaction. Not all the time, most of the time, when I'm expecting it. So I read. And I'm ready for it. But now I sometimes can, but it's never consistent. You just have to get used to it then. In my opinion, console never needed the faster hidden indicators, but PC did. Lol, maybe I basically need to do what I did before, just keep playing, but IDK, you tell me. The dude sounds like he doesn't understand what a reaction is. Also, you are born with your reactions. You can certainly train them, but you don't usually get that far beyond what you were born with. Like, I have a pretty shit lifestyle, but my 150 MS reactions kind of carry me in this game.